Okay, just looking at the video from this morning. It's got a bit of slow motion of the paddling here. A couple of things I want you to look at, Beck. Your blade around the front turn. You know how well it's going in the water. Okay, you can just see you're reaching out to a certain point and not really putting the blade in where you're reaching to. So you're coming out and you're starting the drive with the blade in the air. You've got to make sure you place, come out, roll out and place before you push. In terms of your posture's improved heaps, and the positions you're rowing to aren't too bad. Okay, we'll talk a bit about you later. So looking at Maddie, looking at your posture, that's probably the biggest thing with you, Mads, is like making sure you stay tall. Particularly at the finish there, you can see your chin down, so you're looking at the bottom of Beck's back. You can see how you're sort of collapsing around both turns. It's really important that you start by keeping your chin up, keeping your head up. Okay, and that will help you with your posture. Okay, Nicola, just moving on to you, just looking at this bit of video here. You were having trouble timing it around the back. Okay, you can still see you're a little bit slow out of the water there, but it's not too bad. The good thing about you, Nicola, is you're rowing super long, like you're rowing really long, which is good. But you kind of need to probably relax that length a bit at the catch, because that's what's getting you behind at the release, because you are rowing so long. You just probably in a situation like this, when you're in a boat where the people in front of you can't row as long, it's probably best just to match their length. Okay, so you can match through the stroke with them. You can see later on, Nicola, that you're actually just a bit behind through the whole stroke. You can see, Nicola, just looking at this bit of video here, how much earlier you're breaking your knees than Maddie in front of you. Okay, you can just see your knees come up a lot earlier. And later on in the row, that was an issue with rushing forward. You can see that it's coming from the early knee break now. It's worth, girls, it's worth pausing the video while you're watching it, just to look at different parts. Okay, Shaq, you can see your posture, what I'm talking about. Both the catch sort of collapsing. That's not too bad at the catch, but at the finish, you know, the head being down really, you know, creates problems. So Nicola, you need to get a bit more rock over before you break the knees. You can just see, looking at this video here, just getting onto, just breaking the knees only a fraction earlier than Maddie, but that's all it needs to be a problem. Posture's a little bit sort of down at the back turn, or really around both turns, but it's, you know, it's not too bad. Like, it's the same as Maddie. You know, it's not ideal, but it's improved heaps. But you guys need to be aware that you need to keep your chins up, sit as tall as you possibly can. Okay, just moving on to Jess. Your posture's really good. Sitting up nice and tall. And you're rocking over fairly well, but you just need to make sure you need to be so conscientious of rowing long. Obviously not as tall as the other girls. So you've got to be really careful about that. Keeping it long, but your stretch off the back there is really good. Okay, quick look on the bow side here. Fraction early onto the slide. The blade work, you'll see the person, whoever's blades are closest to the bow. No, we're really trying to come out at the catch. People rowing along so you can see Nick stands really trying to come out really long. That's what I'm saying in the earlier video, Nick. You just don't need to terrible, but it's not as accurate as it could be. Okay, you just need to match up with Shaq. That's the best thing to do. And then we won't have those issues with timing around the back. It's great that you're trying to row long. That's fantastic. But just whatever crew you get into, you've just got to match the length and keep your oars parallel. It's pretty simple. It's like really simple. So you can just see Shaq, you know, as you're coming forward, to square up, you're actually pushing the hand. So down. It's a good opportunity, like at these stages, to and that's creating the problem of your blades going away from the water. You know, in these situations, like when you're watching this sort of video, to pause it at the catch, pause it at release, and you know, just even download the video and go through and just see what your blade's doing, and you know what's idiosyncratic about the way you're rowing. Nick, you can afford to be a little bit more definite into the water. You know, we can all afford to try and come out lasting on the cover and really make sure we put the blades in a really definite way. So you can see just like looking at you, sort of posture's really good around 5 turns. You've improved heaps, and that's enormously. You know, like there's not much more. I probably could afford just to rock over a little bit earlier before you break your knees, or spend more time rocking over before you break your knees. But in general, it's good for you to be aware of it before the weekend. Pretty well. It just needs a little bit more. The other thing you can sort of see here, we're just dragging blades out a bit on really helping stroke side here. Not really sort of releasing square. It doesn't help. Nick, you need to keep your chin up around the back turn, but we're not really releasing the blade square. And then feathering, it's sort of just dragging the blade out of the water, pulling the right hands straight down to the hip, rather than pulling it directly out. Okay, just coming up here, this is where we started to look for deep catches. We did the deep catches exercise. And you'll see an improvement. Make sure you take the time to, in the placement, the way the blade goes into water. Pause the video at the catch, look a bit better at the release, and just see what your blades do. We just can't afford to come out and have the blades hanging. See Nick just getting behind that. So here we're just doing 30 stroke pace, low 20s. Again, just look at the posture. So you can see, Nick, how much longer and the blade work. So looking at the head positions, what the heads are doing, how much movement there is on the stroke side. And Shaq, you can see the chin dipping. So you just sit there. As soon as you fix that chin dip, Shaq, keep your blades parallel. The posture will start to take care of itself. Obviously not great water again, but you guys aren't doing too bad a job here. Okay. Boat's got good boat. One thing good run. That'll allow you to do is take a bit more time. Rhythm's reasonably good, but remember we sort of finished this piece and said, well, that was only really 80% pressure, so through the back. We need to be really conscientious that when we're rowing hard, we are rowing hard, and we're doing it properly. You can see that in the angles of the blades through the drive phase here. Okay, so again, good idea, Nick, for you to pause it at the release and have a look at the timing. So we should be really looking to come out in place, and the placement is better there because we've gone to the deep catch. And it's all coming in because you're just trying to run a bit too long around the front. About actually putting the blade in the water before you push. But you're actually thinking not just about placing before you push, but you're actually thinking about actually getting the blade in, getting it buried. Again, you can see the stroke pieces a couple of times at the catch. You'll see that your blade's a lot higher off the water and going into the water late when compared to the others. This is pretty good rowing here. It's not too bad. It's a nice dry phase together. Starting to get a bit better through the dry phase. Okay, he's just taking the rate up. Timing there, Shaq, with the placement. Again, it's probably worth pausing it at the catch, at the release, checking your timing, seeing what you're doing. So not the rest of the video, one or two catches, pausing it on a few. Normal speed, just so you just quickly go through that. You know, the difference in timing around both turns. So Shaq, you see your chin going down. That's not going to help you. Got to keep a head up. Head still back. You could still afford to probably keep your chin up a little bit. Beck, you see you tend to sort of fall down on your knees at the catch. You've got to stay nice and tall as you roll out to full slide. And this is the last bit of video. And this piece, considering the wind that you were going into then, it's not too bad a piece, and you're definitely getting the blades down better to the water there than you were earlier on in the row, that's for sure. So that's it.